What just happened?
I don't know, man.
Those are the moments right there that make you feel the most alive.
Look at that frickin' brute. That's a 4-year-old buck.
I just shot the biggest buck I ever had in Michigan.
Michigan, it's Michigan gone wild here in Michigan, where the back roads run for miles and miles with the will of a man and the heart of a child on Michigan gone wild. Michigan gone wild. Michigan gone wild.
We are recording. All right, here we are with the Michigan Gone Wild podcast. It's Alvin and Jake here. Charlie is going to be absent for this one. We're going to be talking some walleye fishing here. I got a couple different topics here, but you guys probably all noticed that we got some videos that have been popping out. Actually, one's uploading right now as we're recording this. So you guys will have already seen that if you watch the channel today. This will release Monday morning. But yeah, we've been doing a lot of walleye fishing, haven't we, Jake?
Sure have.
It's been good, though.
Yeah. Started off with some trophy fishing.
Yep.
On the big water. Yep. We got a few. You guys put a really nice fish in the boat.
Yeah, we got a 31-inch 8-pounder.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a good fish.
I think total for the walleye camp, would we have 19 fish or
19 fish total. 2 were over 30 inches. You got the one that was.
Well, no, it wasn't over 30.
Oh,
it was like 29,
okay.
Just over 29.
So we went 19 and 1, 19 fish, and one was over 30. But we got a handful of fish that were 25 plus. I mean, good fish.
These are a lot of fish that were over
these
25.
These aren't the, planted fish that we're getting in some of the inland water, other inland waters that we've been fishing.
Yeah.
But, I guess I got a few topics here that I kind of wanted to go over. I know a lot of people just wrapping up the deer camp. We're still getting a lot of questions in about that, a lot of comments on that, and I appreciate everyone messaging in on that. But now we're kind of switching gears to walleye fishing.
Mm-hmm.
Did some turkey hunting. You got a turkey.
Yep.
I got my turkey, but I didn't get it on film. And actually, I'm going to work on that episode, getting that up. I had the opening day, me, Charlie, and Kevin. That was pretty cool. It was a lot of fun taking Kevin out and getting some birds in front of him.
Yeah, I didn't get to get Lexi back out. She's doing softball, so, it's pretty much the nights that Lexi don't have softball practice. Burnley has gymnastics, so they never get home until
you're busy all the time.
7:30 at night, so I haven't even had a chance to take her back out since opening weekend.
Yeah.
Kind of bummed. Next year I think I might. And even, all through May, she's softball practice, softball games. You know? So turkey hunting, once they get to that age where they start playing sports, is tough,
Yeah. Well, it's never ending, too. You always got something going on sometime in the year, with kids. I don't have any kids, so.
Yeah.
I'm lucky in that department. Yeah. We'll see.
That you know of, anyways.
That I know of, yeah. There might be one or two little frickin' Alvins running around out there. I hope not. Otherwise, I got some explaining to do. But so I guess to start, pretty much with the overall fishing report would be how we've been going after. I know we've been pretty much running a lot of shallow program.
Yeah.
Not only what we were fishing, for the opener. We're fishing up in shallow water for them walleyes that are
shallow water, in sequence to the depths that are there.
Right.
We're fishing in 15 foot of water when, you can go 50 yards out deeper and you're in 35, 40 foot of water.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much fishing that shoreline structure and the shallow water adjacent to it. I know I was running a lot of pretty much the same thing I'm assuming you were running was F-13s, F-18s to start out. It was obviously for bigger walleye.
Yep.
A couple flicker shads here and there. I know we picked up a couple on flicker shads. But
so my first fish came off a flicker shad, and then, I think that was the only fish I caught on a flicker shad. Yeah, I pulled some fish off from I think I was talking to you about it, the Husky Jerk Scatter Wraps.
Yep.
So it's called a Deep Husky Jerk Scatter Wrap.
Yeah, I haven't used any of those yet. I've used the...
identical to a Husky Jerk 10,
Yeah.
except it's got that scatter bill on it.
I wonder if that just gives it more action.
More action, and it dives a lot deeper too.
Okay.
Yeah, they run 12, 14 foot down.
How far behind the board?
Those I was running, I think 30 foot, 35 foot behind the board.
Yeah.
Over there on the big water.
Yeah.
And I think I caught 2 fish off from those. Actually, that fish that I caught in the daylight when everyone was packing up, and I took the boat out there for a little bit and pulled that last fish on Sunday morning.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that came off from in the daylight.
Gotcha.
And that morning I was running them. I was running a little deeper water, and I was running them 60 foot back and fishing in 25, 30 foot of water.
Yeah. So they were getting down there quite a bit.
They were getting down there, I would assume.
Yeah.
I want to say it was like 12 foot or something like that.
Well, I know the running theme is with the lake that we fish on the opening weekend is there's no daytime bite.
No.
And, it's very, very difficult. Usually you're getting them the last hour of light all night. You can catch them all night, and then maybe the first hour in the morning, and then pretty much it dies off.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's a trolling program. We have seen people out there fishing different ways, jigging, slip bobbers, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that there's a bite to be had, but the program that we're running pretty much only works in the evening, at night, and then the first hour of the morning. Yeah, it's.
I'd love to figure it out in the daytime.
Yeah, I mean, it just extend the amount of fishing that you could do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, me and Matt, I know the one year we tried that. We tried going out, and we caught 1 whitefish and 1 smallmouth in like 4 hours of fishing.
Yeah.
And we marked tons of fish. There's no shortage of fish. It's getting them to bite. That's the issue.
Well, in there, it's like, what are you marking?
Right.
When especially if you catch a whitefish,
Yeah.
like you're marking whitefish.
Yeah,
if you caught one,
There's more than one.
So yeah, you get in the Great Lakes and you don't know what you're marking for fish.
Right. Well, we had a comment on there. Someone asked what body of water we were fishing, and I told them I wasn't going to give them the name of the lake. I'm not going to do that. More or less out of respect of other people that fish the lake.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Not that we care, but
right.
There's other people that'll get a little butt sore.
Yeah, if people watch the video and they say, "Hey, I know what lake that is," good, great. Then maybe follow what we're doing. If you're looking for a couple tips or something like that, or or maybe if you know something better, chime in.
Yeah.
But we're not going to go out publicizing, what would be considered a smaller body of water. The system and the pattern that we're running is basically we're getting these fish that are coming into smaller bodies of water that are connected to Lake Michigan. You can do the same thing to bodies of water that are connected to Lake Huron. The walleyes, they come out of the big lake. They're coming up to spawn. Mm-hmm. They're only in that water system for as long as they need to be. Then they go back out to the big water. Mm-hmm. And Lake Michigan isn't known for its walleye fishery, but it has come around. But it's not publicized because it's not Lake Erie. It's not Saginaw Bay. And so, therefore, people are just like, eh.
I don't think people realize, and I don't know the statistics, maybe there's not a pile of walleye in Lake Michigan. I don't know. But I feel like there's a lot more walleye in Lake Michigan than what people give it credit for.
Oh, I agree.
But it's very difficult to fish for walleye.
Yes.
You got to fish walleye, and you go from 50 foot of water or 5 foot of water to 50 foot of water to 300 foot of water.
Yeah. Where do you target them?
It's not a basin. It's not Lake Erie.
Yeah.
Well,
I know that when we've caught them in like August and even like mid to late July up in like out of Sheboygan, or you can go up out of Rogers City too. You're going to catch walleyes up there on any lake trout program. I mean, out to 70, 80, even 100 feet of water sometimes, and they're just suspended over it. We've caught them like that on lead core lines.
Running for trout.
We've picked up, 25-inch walleyes.
Yeah.
And I've heard rumors, and I know I mentioned this to you, is like I read a Saginaw Bay tributary study, and they were tagging fish, and they were finding out that some of these fish were making it all the way up to the Straits by August, and then just coming right back.
From where?
From Saginaw Bay.
Okay.
They were tagging them in the Saginaw River and the Tittabawassee, and these fish they had trackers, or they had the tags on them where people would report them where they caught them. Excuse me. And, they were making it all the way up to, Sheboygan, Boblo, and the Straits.
That's wild.
It's nuts.
Wild.
Like, why do they, you ask yourself, like, well, why do they need to go up that far?
If they go that far, why don't they just keep right on it going around Lake Michigan?
Well,
Are those the same fish?
I think that's the point that I'm getting to, is I think that's what they have done over the years. I think that a lot of these fish,
off fish from here on have made it into Lake Michigan. And
Well, you think about it, the bait fish crash back in, like, was it 2004 or 2005 in Lake Huron? There was still a lot of walleyes. Well, they go out, most people think they probably go out, to Au Gres or even up to Oscoda, and then they just kind of mill around. There's nothing stopping them fish from saying, hey, there's no food here. Mm-hmm. And granted, the gobies have spread very prominently. I mean, there's gobies everywhere. But in Lake Michigan, we catch lake trout, and you're reeling up lake trout, and they're puking them up all over your deck, and, when you're netting them.
See, and that's a fishery that, I know the walleye are still there, but for whatever reason, we used to go to the Sable for opener walleye.
Yeah.
And you catch some giant females.
Yeah, same thing.
But they're not there anymore. At least we quit going.
Well, I think
we quit going like 5, 6, 7 years ago. We quit going to Oscoda.
Yeah.
And just because we went, 4 or 5 years in a row without getting into those big fish,
Well, it could be also too that the word got out and people have started targeting them.
Right.
But then it also could be, the bait fish. I mean, there's no secret. There's a ton of fish in the Saginaw Bay. Mm-hmm. And that's going to kind of bleed off into the systems around it. But over time, I have to assume that a lot of the bait fish have been eaten up. You know what I mean? I remember it was like 10 years ago, you go down to Saginaw Bay, you'd catch 30 walleyes before you caught a keeper. Yeah. It was annoying. Yeah. It made me not even want to go. Yeah. Now you go down there and you can get a healthy plethora of, those 13 to 15 inchers. Mm-hmm. But then there's also still the possibility of catching an 8 to 10 pounder. Right. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Well, I think the Saginaw Bay is the best it's ever been right now. Yeah. Me personally. And I've fished it, a lot. My uncle used to run that charter out of the Saginaw Bay, and, we used to go down there and fish with him. And I think it's the best it's ever been right now. Yeah. As far as like opportunity and quality. Yeah, 10, 15 years ago, there was a time where you could go out there and you could catch a handful of 8-pounders, but then you're fighting to get a limit. Mm-hmm. Now you can go down there and you can get a limit, and you may have a handful of 15 to 18 inchers, but you could also get into those 7, 8, 9 pounders. Yeah. And I think back to what we were talking about Lake Michigan is I think that a lot of them walleyes, they scattered to find food. Mm-hmm. They had to. It's like a lot of the salmon that come out of the Swan Creek up in Rogers City. They actually find those fish over by Milwaukee, which is insane. Mm-hmm. And I think that there's no limits. They're nomadic, and they're going to go where they need to for food. Right. Yep. But yeah, I think to what you were saying, I don't think people realize the fishery that Lake Michigan is for walleye. Right. I think when they look at Lake Michigan, they think of lake trout, they think of steelhead, they think of salmon, obviously number one probably. But, with the gobies coming in, there's plenty of food out there. There's nothing stopping a lot of these fish from coming out of the smaller bodies of water that are connected to Lake Michigan, just going out there and gorging and living their life. Right. And then when they need to spawn, just come back up the river. Yeah. So, I don't know. I'd like to know some more, get some more statistics about it, because I think that if they keep going the way they're going, Lake Michigan is going to produce some giant walleyes.
And there's so much water there.
There is.
As to where, Lake Erie is big, but it's shallow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Lake Michigan, as far as cubic inches of water,
it's big.
It's big.
You got tons of food in there. The smelt are starting to come back. You got the alewives in there. Those are, stabilizing from everything that I've read. And then you got the gobies. The gobies are littered, all over Lake Michigan and Lake Huron for that matter. Yeah. But, It's insane. I think we're a bit spoiled here in Michigan.
Yeah.
We really, you want to go outside of walleyes, look at the smallmouth.
Yeah.
Our smallmouth are insane. I'm not a big bass fisherman.
Me neither.
I'll go out once in a great while, but
And I take for granted when you catch a 5-6 pound smallmouth on a planer board walleye fishing.
Yeah.
You unhook it, you throw it in the water. It's like no big deal.
yeah, it's like a trash fish.
Trash,
There's some
Get all
guys.
disappointed. Oh shit, it's a 5 pound smallmouth.
I know, and there's guys down south that would be like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah.
The bass enthusiasts, they're losing their shit over that.
Yeah.
And here we are just like, it's another 5 pound smalleye.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's pretty crazy to think about that.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I wrote down a couple things, but what, hot lures. What's kind of been the go-to, fishing lures, sizes, and maybe even colors. What's been working best for you?
Well, I think I told you, my number one top bait this year has been the F-Series F11 floating Rapala and the Bleeding Hot Olive.
Yep.
Caught a ton of fish off from that. And obviously that's on inland lakes.
Yep.
And we're talking a little different program than what we were running opening weekend.
Yeah.
For those fish. But as far as the inland lake fishing that we're about to put out videos on, the F-Series Rapalas, floating Rapalas, particularly Bleeding Hot Olive.
Mm-hmm.
Caught a few fish off from flicker shads, but just doesn't, it seems to be like a hit and miss type thing. You try it one day and it's not working, and then the next day it works,
Yeah.
But, that original floating Rapala has been around for way longer than I've been around.
It's pretty much the standard.
Yeah.
If you look at any tackle box, whether it be from someone that's just getting into fishing at 15 or someone that's 70 years old, they probably have a floating Rapala in there.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
And it's been catching fish for
Yeah.
way before we were born.
Yeah.
I don't know when they came out
I'm not sure.
with the floating Rapala, but it's on the box, the original.
Yeah.
That's the original.
It is the original. Yeah. And it works.
And it works.
And
They've changed the colors over the years, but even some of the original colors are still good, the black and gold, orange and gold.
Black and gold is usually fire for me, but I haven't really gotten anything on the black and gold. Actually, speaking on original colors, blue and silver's been working the best for me.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I was running blue and silver to start off with when we moved into these inland lakes, and I ended up, I haven't put it back on the last couple trips.
No?
So I never pulled a fish off from it.
I take that back. We picked up last night. We picked up one on the blue and silver, but I think the reason why that wasn't going is because I left it on a little bit too long, and when I did pull it in, I had weeds on it.
Yeah.
So, but chartreuse, that Bleeding Hot Olive has been working.
Anything bright lately,
yeah.
it seems like it's been working good, and it's not always like that. Sometimes it's black and silver, black
Yep.
and gold, vampire. Those darker colors, but.
Yeah, I think we picked one up on Clown, Fire Tiger, and then it's not the Bleeding Hot Olive, but it's light. It looks like the Bleeding Hot Olive, but it's got like a trout painting pattern on it. I don't know what the name of it is, but it's got chartreuse on the bottom, and it's like a bluer top half, blue or purple, something like that. I can't think of the name of it.
The purple descent?
It could
Is
be.
it purple back, white belly
No.
with the spots on it?
No, I have that one, but I haven't gotten anything on that yet. I have that in an F18, an F13, and an F11.
See, that was good when I first started fishing.
Was it? Purple's usually always a pretty
started out
good color.
Trying to think what other color that would be.
I don't know. I have to look it up now.
I've never bought the brown trout color.
Mm-hmm.
I bought a couple of those this year, and we've caught a few fish off from those.
I don't have any of those, and I don't think I have any of the brown trout.
No?
No.
I never
I
owned
probably
them.
shouldn't I? I don't know. I think that they make good colors and everything. I think the only thing that I really haven't dabbled into are like that pike or bass pattern ones.
Yeah. Yeah, I fished the pike pattern for pike.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a few of those F13s in the pike pattern.
Hot steel.
Oh, hot steel.
Hot steel.
Yeah. So yeah, that's basically a bleeding hot olive.
Yeah, it's
Same
very
colors,
similar.
It just don't. It's not the bleeding series. It don't have the red bill and the
Right.
red hooks.
Different pattern.
A little bit different pattern. Yeah, it's got the spots on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to make sure I got that right for people so that if they're looking for any hot colors right now, that's definitely one of them.
Yeah, hot steel and bleeding hot olive are probably
Yeah.
my two go-to colors.
Mm-hmm.
You know, unless it's, I mean, they're either hitting bright or they're hitting dark, it seems like.
Yeah.
Bright colors or dark colors. And if they're hitting bright colors, then hot steel, bleeding hot olive. Other than that, then you got like your perch, your sand perch, your original perch.
Yep. Those are always usually pretty good.
Always pretty good, yep. And most, if you're in the walleye fisheries,
All have perch in
all
them.
have sand perch in them.
Yeah.
So those are both really good colors.
Trying to think of the other one. Silver fluorescent chartreuse. So it's got the white bottom and the chartreuse back. That one's picked up a couple fish too.
Yeah. See, I don't
Yeah.
fish that one very often anymore.
No?
No. And I think it's just because, you know, it's a bright color, you know, and I feel like
Yeah.
if you're going to catch fish on chartreuse and white, then you're probably going to catch fish on like hot olive or hot
Yeah.
steel or something, you know. It's just that it's either bright or dark.
Right.
You know, I don't think they're that picky.
Yeah.
You know, I know there was one year a few years back that, once again, we're not going to name no lake that we're fishing. I'm sure plenty of people are going to know where we're fishing, and if you do, then great.
Yeah.
But not going to throw it out there. But a few years ago on that lake, that's all you could catch a fish on was a blue and silver F11.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't own any. And I was
We got a
out there.
problem, Jack.
A couple of our friends were out there. My dad was out there. They're just tearing the walleye up, and I had like one or two. I'm like, what's going on here? They're
Yeah.
like, it's got to be blue and silver. I'm like, all right, guess I'll go get some blue and silver F11s.
There we go.
Got blue and silvers and started catching walleye.
That's all it was.
And
Isn't that crazy?
that's all we were running was every rod that was out had blue and silver on it.
Yeah. Oh, man. You know what? We had the conversation last night, and I wanted to remind myself to bring it up because we actually had a very good podcast-worthy conversation about, like, the difference in the fishing as far as, like, fishing waters that are connected to the Great Lakes or that have a natural spawning in them, like a good natural spawning.
Yeah.
Versus a lake that, like, for instance, the one we fished the past couple nights,
It's just a mimic spawn. It's like a false spawn.
Yeah, there's a lot of fish in there, but it's because the DNR plant them in there. And we were talking about like different age structures hanging out with different age structures. So like some fish, like if you get into a pile of fish and they're all 17, 18 inches, you know, you need to, if you want bigger fish, you're going to have to move around to find a different school.
Those fish.
Yeah. And you made a pretty good point there because, you know, when looking at like, you go out to Lake Michigan, you could pretty much catch anything. You could, your board goes back. You don't really know if it's going to be that 15 to 17 incher or if it's going to be that 28 to 30 incher.
Yeah.
Whereas to where like you're fishing these inland lakes that have, you know, a very, let's say spotty stocking program. Like the lake that we fished the past couple of nights, you know, they planted like just over 1 million there, was it 5-6 years ago?
Yeah.
And they just did it again a year ago. So you're going to have a lot of that age structure of fish. There's not a lot that are like in between.
Yeah.
You and Lexi caught a couple the other night that were, you know, in the mid-20s.
Yeah.
You know, 22, 23, something like that.
Yeah. I think we got one that was 25 and a half.
Yeah.
Which is
A good fish for that
good
lake.
fish for there, yeah.
Yeah, because you just don't see that because, you know, it has to go based off the stocking.
Yep.
You know, you're looking at the stocking, you're like, okay, if that 1.3 or 1.4 million fish were planted 4 years ago, that I'm looking for 4-year-old fish.
Right.
But you might have to sift through the, you know, 8 or 9 inchers like me and Tony caught last night, 3 of them.
Which is crazy because
Yeah.
I've fished it 4 times now.
Yeah.
And I haven't pulled a fish under, I think the smallest fish I've caught 16 and a half inches.
Yeah, that's crazy. Because the one we got was like literally 7 or 8 inches.
Yeah, which would be last year's stocking.
Yep.
And you'd think you'd catch more, but I'm assuming the adult walleyes are just keeping them pushed down.
Yeah.
Or pushed into shore, or obviously those adult walleyes are going to eat those 7-8 inch walleyes.
Right. Yeah, there ain't nothing stopping them.
Which that's another thing. I don't have any, but that color from other friends and stuff that have been fishing that lake, the Rapala makes that walleye color now.
they've been doing good on
And
it.
they've been doing really good on that.
It makes sense.
And I went to go buy some, and the store was sold out. So that's telling you something.
It's
And
working.
it makes sense, if they're 7-8 inch walleye.
Yeah, I went to Jay's and there was a couple F11s that were sold out.
Sold
and I'm
right
like,
out, yeah.
I'm like, God, I wish I knew what colors those were. I wouldn't mind, going down a size or going up a size if I could get that same pattern.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, we already covered best colors. The shallow water bite. Now, obviously, in the next couple weeks, you guys are going to see us hitting different lakes. We kind of have more or less, Jake has a little bit of a pattern on how he attacks these lakes. We have a certain lake we go to for the opening season, and then after that, we kind of start with these shallower bodies of water, where the water temperature's a little bit higher, or warms up quicker, I should say. And then we'll kind of fish that until that bite dies out, and then we'll move to another lake.
And it's more or less weeds.
You're right, yeah.
You can only troll so long, and then the weeds come up. Once the weeds come up and you're fighting the weeds, then it's time to go somewhere.
Yeah, it's basically pointless to be trolling.
And you could be there jigging or running crawler harnesses or something like that, but that's just not the way I like to fish for walleye.
No, me either.
If I can't pull crankbaits, then
I take that back. I do like jigging once in a while. It is fun. It's just not as, number one, you can't cover as much ground, and you have to be on the spot with them. Especially if you get, you want to get a limit, like, you've been getting the last few nights. You got to be on the fish, and that's usually a weed line or a piece of structure, that you can target.
Yeah.
But trolling is probably, in my eyes, I enjoy it more,
Yep.
But I do like to jig.
It's relaxing, you
Yeah.
get your stuff out. You usually get a few minutes to sit down and just kind of watch things and settle down a little bit, and then bam, board goes back and
it starts firing.
gets exciting, you know what I mean? And then you get everything unwound and untangled, and the chaos settles down for a minute. You get everything set back out, you relax for a few minutes, and then starts all over again,
Yeah. Yeah, I think when, this bite kind of dies off, which, I don't see it dying off. Man, you guys got a 3-man limit last night, didn't you?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and then me and Tony got a 1-man. So, I think you could realistically fish this for another week and a half and still get the same results.
I think before the bite takes a dump, it's going to be the weeds.
Yeah.
I think with this warm, the warm temperatures we've got coming this week,
Yeah.
the sunshine,
Yeah.
once that sun starts beating down into the water and brings some weeds up,
Just
I
gonna
think
get 'em
that's
coming
what's
up.
going to end it.
Then we'll just have to move to another lake.
Yep, deeper, colder.
Yep. Yeah, I'm pretty excited for that too, and the lake we're referring to is a much deeper lake. I think it has a little bit more variety of bait fish as well.
Yep.
So I think we're gonna,
And the same thing, like when you're fishing those lakes that we're speaking of, you never know what you're gonna catch.
right. You could
You'd
catch
be
a steelhead.
steelhead, muskie, brown trout, walleye, jumbo perch. You just don't know.
Yeah, that's what makes it fun. And I know we talked about this last night too. Is like you tend to get into bigger fish, when you're dealing with lakes that have a better variety of bait.
Yeah.
And these lakes that we're going to be moving to after the shallow water bite dies off. Not to say we're not going to be fishing shallower water, but these lakes are deeper. They have more bait fish. These lakes have, smelt. They have ciscos. They have, I believe that have alewives in them. And then also gobies and then other different shad. So I'm looking forward to that. I know I'll be, it's staying light till 9:30 now.
Yeah.
So there's gonna be nights where it's 1-2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be driving back half asleep.
It's worth it, though.
Oh, 100%. And a big thing, too, is, like, I know we haven't, like, really tackled in the boat fishing content. So, I mean, like, everyone out there listening, you know, if there's certain things that you guys want to see, I mean, by all means, go ahead, send us some questions either on Instagram or Facebook, or, you know, comment on the actual, the video where we're going to post this, you know, or even on the fishing videos that we have out. Go ahead, comment on there, and, you know, we'll comment, and we'll kind of explain some things. I know I want to run over kind of some baits that I'm going to be starting with. This is most of the content, you know, we've put out. Like, I don't proclaim to be any type of expert in fishing. Mm-hmm. I enjoy fishing. I like doing it a lot.
Like to eat walleye.
Right, but I don't feel like the type of person to be sitting there going through a 20-minute video of how to show people how to catch fish. I'll show you what I'm doing, and if it's working, hey, try it. But you know, I mean,
I think if people are wanting to see like a Bill Dance fishing show,
right,
they're probably not going to watch our stuff, you know.
I mean, you might see some
and
funny
here's
stuff.
the other thing. Yeah, you're going to see some comical stuff. It might be like the Incomplete Fisherman series or something, but we want to get set up and fishing and catch the bite, you know. So we're not really, you know, taking the time to explain what's going on, you know. Once you get in the groove, the bite sometimes, you know, depending on where you're at, may last an hour. It may last 5 hours, you know. Yeah. So you don't want to waste any time, you know, when you're trying to get down and catch fish and get a limit, you know.
I will definitely say this, though. One of the most things that I'm excited about, especially with filming this stuff, is like, you know, I feel like we have stuff figured out as far as how we want to film it for deer hunting. Mm-hmm. But now that we're kind of like diving into filming more of our fishing content, like I had a pretty good niche with the ice fishing, and I did an ice fish this past year. But I think it's going to be fun to learn and kind of, you know, say, okay, that now we're doing fishing content on a consistent basis, like, and then picking it apart and like making it better. I think that's going to be fun, you know, doing it.
See, last night when I was fishing with Scott and his son Jameson, it was nice because Scott's very capable at running rods, and you know, so we had both of us that were able to do that. I was controlling the boat, obviously, but Jameson was reeling fish in. Mm-hmm. You know, Scott was kind of helping him, and I would pull the GoPro off and walk around the back of the boat and get some footage of the fish coming up to the boat and some different angles, you know, versus just the one shot from the console of the boat.
Yeah, and that definitely helps. And I know I want to get another GoPro. Probably end up getting 2 more, so that way you get 2 in your boat too. I get 2 in my boat, and we can kind of, you know, have one that's stationary and then one playing around with different, you know, different angles. Or
that mount that I got from you is nice because it just clips on there. Yep. You know, I just grab it, and my portable charger's hooked right to it. You know, I just grab the whole thing, and I can just take it around the boat and do whatever. You know. Yeah,
and you guys, I mean, you've been killing them. I've gone out. I went out the other night. I didn't catch one.
Yeah.
You know, I damn near got blown off the lake, though. And I think that might have been, I don't know, you said some other people were out the same night catching fish. And, like, I mean, maybe it was just the speed that I was running at or something. But
I noticed last night speed was huge.
It was.
And I was so that was the windiest night that I'd fished, was last night since opener. And it wasn't crazy or nothing, but when you're going into the wind, you know, I was cranking my trolling motor right up to like 6.5 to maintain. And even then, you know, it was the gusts. So you'd crank it up, and then you turn away and look for a second. You know, the wind calms down just a little bit.
Yep.
And you're doing 2.1 mile an hour.
Yeah.
I'm like, my boards are tripping over here. What's going on? Oh, shit, I'm doing 2.1 mile an hour. So you back it off, you know. Yeah. And it seemed like I was running 1.6, 1.7. And if I could keep it in 1.6, 1.7, we were catching fish.
That's what I figured out.
Yeah.
If
you got down into like 1.4, it died off, you know. And there was times, you know, I'm like, man, what's going on? Look, oh shit, we're doing 1.3 mile an hour, you know. Bump it up, you know, and get your speed back dialed in, and bam, you'd catch fish.
Now, were you doing best going with the wind or going against the wind?
Caught fish both ways. But I think going into the wind was better.
See, we caught fish both ways, but I think we only caught one fish going into the wind. Coming with going with the wind,
Yep.
we caught the rest of our
Caught
fish.
most of your fish going
Yeah.
your way.
So I know that one time, like, you got right behind us. I think it was the first time that you had fallen. Actually, maybe it was the only time. You and Scott ended up falling in behind me and Tony, and that's when we only had one at that point, and then we started picking up the rest of the fish right there, but we were going in the wind. So we made a big turn, went all the way back. I think we picked up one throwback, and then when we made that next turn, we ended up catching one more keeper and one more throwback.
Yeah.
if I remember
Yeah, it was
correctly.
definitely like, it was spotty.
Yeah.
You know, you'd bang fish, just boom, boom, boom,
Mm-hmm.
and then you if you weren't on them, you know, and your speed wasn't right, if everything wasn't right,
Mm-hmm.
it was just dead. You know, and then once you slowed down and realized, all right, this is what I'm doing wrong, you got everything corrected again
Yeah.
and got everything back to where it was supposed to be, and you'd pick fish up again. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, I'd say it's pretty much the same for me.
Yep.
But yeah, I wonder if it is too, like, you know, that there's not a lot of food in that lake. We talked about this last night too, with the amount of predator fish that are in there, with the amount of stocking they've done.
Mm-hmm.
That lake probably only has like little, you know, perch. I know you said, what were you saying you were finding in these
Like
fish?
7-8 inch perch.
Yeah.
And 17, 18 inch walleye.
Yeah.
You know.
That tells you that there's not a lot of food in that
Right.
lake.
Yeah.
And I know we went a little bit further into it, but I think that's the difference that we're going to see going from like this really shallow, weedy lake and moving on to a bigger, you know, waters where they have more food. Number one, I think they're going to be more healthy looking fish, because some of the fish like I got, like the ones that I ended up cleaning the ones that I caught last night today, and there was nothing in their stomachs.
Yeah, the ones that I cleaned didn't have nothing
Yeah.
either.
And they're like, I don't want to say hammer handles, but they're too skinny.
Yeah.
You know they're malnourished. So,
Yeah.
and you alluded to this last night. It's a good thing that people are going in there and getting their limits, you know, and kind of keeping the population in
And
check.
that's why they're stocking it.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're stocking it for people to catch fish and take them home and eat them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because I don't think there's a lot of natural reproduction that happens in that lake.
I don't think there is, because it's not a natural reproduction
Right.
system. You know what I mean? Like, naturally, there's no current for them to find and go upstream to spawn. You know, they
Yeah.
got a fault spawn on rocks or any type of structure they can find. You know, hard bottom,
Yeah.
sand, even. You know?
And there's not a lot of hard bottom up there.
no.
You might have, in fact, I can't even recall a lot of any areas in there where there's a gravel bed or something.
No, I don't know of any gravel in there. See, I know of some wood structure,
Yep.
and I know fish spawn on that.
Yep.
But usually that's, you know, once in a while you'll catch it on a year where they're still up on that wood.
Yep.
But most years they're already off from that, or you just catch them coming off from that, you know, by opener.
Yeah. Yeah, I know a couple areas that, you know, Brian Weber had pointed me to. There's a couple spots at the north end of the lake and the south end of the lake where there was piles of wood.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, get on those as soon as you can, you know, because the fish will be in and around those. And I wondered, like, specifically why. Was it piles? No, they're like, literally, they're like logs laying almost
Yeah.
like next to each other, like creating a false hard bottom.
Yep.
And like you said, that may give walleyes the opportunity to go in there and spawn, but
Yep.
I don't think it's that.
Or try to spawn.
Try to spawn,
Yeah.
right? I don't think it's that successful.
No, I don't think so.
You know, but moving on to these next lakes that we're going to go to, there is natural spawning.
Right.
You know, I've
Yeah.
caught, you know, while sucker fishing and steelhead fishing, we've caught walleyes, you know, before the opener in the rivers. And it's like, okay. And there's, 3-4 rivers connected to each one of those. So, I mean, they can go up or down whatever one they want, really.
And I don't know, one of those lakes, I believe they stock pretty good. And I don't know if they still do recently or not, but I know for a couple of years there they were stocking it.
They do. What they did was, and this is, if anyone knows anything about the fisheries up here, they're going to know what lake we're talking about, and it doesn't really matter. But if you look at the lake stocking data itself, they don't stock them in the lake. they stock them in the river to the north. You know what river, the big river I'm talking about. They stock them in there, and they've actually tracked the walleyes going down the big river, and then when they get to the other, where the two rivers meet, they turn and go up the other river. And that's where they do the spawning. It's, you know, and it's not fast current. It's very slow moving. It's deep. You know, they can find gravel beds in there. I mean, there's enough current to where it's, you know, there's going to be good spawning habitat in there. But yeah, if you ever look at the lake stocking data, look at the river to the north of it. That's where they plant all those walleyes. And then walleyes will, and granted, they'll spawn in the other rivers, the other rivers just as much. But if you want to know where all the walleye are coming from those two lakes, it's the river to the north, you know. Yep. That's where they plant all the walleyes, which makes sense because you're teaching them, hey, this is your starting point. This is where you're going to continue to come back year after year. Yeah. So it makes sense realistically.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think, you know, I have the boat already. The only thing you're going to have a hard time getting me to do is stay off my lake trout edge.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
So when are you thinking you're going to?
I could honestly go out right now in like 10, 15, even 20 feet of water and bang these lake trout with repellos. Yeah. Brown trout, you know, there's probably steelhead up in there too. You might even get the occasional whitefish. Yeah. You know, we start talking about, you know, bigger water like Little Travers Bay, Grand Travers Bay, even up in the Straits area or over by Sheboygan. You know, you start trolling in there in that shallow water, you're gonna start banging lake trout. Yeah. And then that's where, especially when you're doing it on walleye gear, you know, because for the first month, I don't think I'll break out my heavy rods because I like, you know, I'll catch all these lake trout on my walleye equipment. You know, sometimes I'll switch the leader. Like I run 12-pound test down to 8-pound leader for my walleye. I'll just switch the leader to a 10 or 12-pound leader. Yeah. You know, and it's a pretty easy program. But use spoons. You can use Rapellas, even flicker shads. I've got them on the flicker shad number 9s. The rocks, you start getting into the rocks. The rocks beat up those baits, though. Oh, yeah. Yeah, especially start digging. I've seen chips come out of the bills and stuff, and I'm like, oof.
Even walleye fishing, I like to take and run my baits and go over them rocky points and just bounce them right off the rocks.
Oh, it makes shit ton of noise.
Yeah, you usually pick up a fish doing it, you know.
Yeah, ringing the dinner bell.
But when the night's over, you look at your baits and you're like, these are trashed.
Guess I got to go get a new one. Yeah. Yeah. No, I got to get you out doing that lake trout, dude. Yeah. It's almost, I want to stop. There's a couple reefs out there I want to stop and actually jig on because it seems like when you do go out there, you make a pass over that reef, you pick up 2, 1, 2, even sometimes 3 fish, and then you do your big loop and you go right back over that reef again and bam, 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 bam.
Yeah. See, I wouldn't mind getting into some of the shallow water stuff you're talking about because my problem is once I get close to bear season, I'm done. Yeah. The fishing switch flips off, you know, and then I'm done. My freezer's full of fish. I got all the fish I need.
Yeah, I don't see. Yeah, after training season starts, I don't see you till deer season.
No, that's it. So, I mean, if I could get out on the big lake in the next month, I'd do it.
All right,
for sure.
Well, I'll get something set up. I'll keep an eye on the weather, and we get a good calm day. We'll go out there and just all you do is, I mean, you go out there at sun up and you fish till. I mean, we'll probably have our limit before, noon. But it's still fun. I mean, even if you can throw a few back and continue fishing. Have
you ever tried to target brown trout?
No, and that brings up a good topic because I know exactly where I want to go to try it, and I want to do it with like.
Oh, that seems like it'd be more of a fall.
No, actually spring.
Spring?
Yeah, like right now. Really? Right now, them browns, even the lake trout and rainbows, like they're in shallow. 10, 15, 20 feet of water.
Fishing walleye in mid-May on that north lake that we're talking about. The one time we were fishing it and got out early. It was way before dark. It was like 5, 6 o'clock in the afternoon. And we were just going to fish some deeper water and see if we couldn't figure some fish out, in a little bit deeper water. fishing, where we'd be fishing at night up in 15 foot of water. We just, basically came out into 25, 30 foot of water.
Yeah.
And we were fishing that. And I made a pass down in 25, 30 foot of water. And I actually had Wayne and his son with me.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a riot. That kid's a freaking blast to fish with. We go down, we make a run, and I make a big sweeping turn out into the deep water to come back and make another run. Well, I got out in like 40-some foot of water, and, my baits are only running 12, 14 foot down.
Yeah.
Bam, a board goes back, just straight back. I'm like, what do we got here,
All right.
And Blake, Wayne's son, grabs the rod, and he starts fighting it, and it ended up being like a 10, 12 pound brown trout.
Damn.
Just a freaking hog of a brown trout. I think it was, I don't remember, 26, 27 inches, just a football.
Good, healthy fish.
Yeah.
That one's eating good.
And I tried to replicate that over and over and over and over and never did it again, but I wished I could figure it out.
We'll go up, and maybe I'll go out and give it a shot. So that way you're not wasting a day on it or anything. But
There's no wasted time, bud. There's no wasted time.
Then we'll go tackle it together. We'll go out there and put out a program and see if we can't bang out some of these browns, because I know they're in there.
See, and that was on a flicker shad. I caught that big brown on a flicker shad.
Yeah. Well, I know they get those. If you look up in like Lake Superior, like I know up by like Marquette, they'll troll in that 10, 12, even 15 feet of water in the springtime, like right now, and they're trolling stick baits, and they're getting lake trout, they're getting rainbows, they're getting cohos, they're getting brown trout, everything.
No kidding.
It's insane. And
probably some walleye too.
I don't recall any walleyes, but I would assume so. Yeah.
I don't see why they wouldn't.
Yeah. I know you can do the same thing in like up by Munising, Munising Bay and stuff in around that area.
Yeah.
Up even the whole southern shoreline of Lake Superior. Actually, if you wanted to go catch king salmon, like middle to late May is the time to do that up on Lake Superior on the southern end.
Yeah.
Because of the water temp. Water's a little bit warmer down at the south end.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like Lake Michigan, like all the salmon right now are down south.
Yeah.
We don't get salmon up here around Traverse City, Petoskey, and, Charlevoix till August.
Right.
It's not even worth it to go fishing for them. Not anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, you see a lot of guys go down to Ludington earlier on. And
yeah, Benton Harbor, Holland, that all that area right now, they're banging king salmon.
Yeah.
And then they'll move out to they'll start moving up, or they'll go, over to the Wisconsin side. In Wisconsin, they got so much fish over there. It's even funny.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. That's I tell people, like, you got to – I know a lot of people, they complain. They're like, wow, there ain't no salmon up here. There ain't no point in fishing Lake Michigan. I'm like, dude, do you not realize, like, the amount of fish that are in Lake Michigan?
Yeah.
You could go out there. I've caught steelhead. I've caught lake trout, plenty of salmon, up 10 million lake trout, I should say. Plenty of salmon, You had the chance to catch some browns depending on the time of year and what you're doing. It's hard to target browns anyway in any lake for that matter. I don't know what it is. I don't know what they do. Like, what do they do when the water warms up?
I don't know.
Do they go deep and sit on the bottom?
Well, they're more of a warm water fish, right?
As far as I know, yeah. But then again,
like you take a brook trout's a cold water fish.
Yeah.
A rainbow trout's like a cool water fish. And then a brown trout's like a warm water. That's your southern trout species.
Yeah, I think they can tolerate warmer waters. Yeah. So, but it just doesn't. It doesn't make any sense because there's plenty of, like, if you look at, like, you could look at the Bear River, you could look at the Boyne River, the Jordan River, all the rivers along the West Coast. They all plant browns in there, and they're all connected to Lake Michigan.
But very few are caught.
Right. Where did they go?
I don't know.
It's confusing, but
I don't know anyone that goes out and catches like multiple brown trout in a day.
Yeah.
On the big lakes,
Yeah.
And even on our big inland lakes, like there's giant browns in those.
Oh yeah.
There's 30+ inch brown trout in those lakes.
Oh yeah.
And people catch them in the rivers, in the fall when they come up to spawn, and late summer.
Or even when they move into the rivers for the hatches.
Yeah.
I know there's big lake fish that will move into the rivers just for the bug hatch.
Yeah.
They'll follow the hatch, but
Yep. Those hot summer days, you
yeah.
know, them guys go out bugging and catch 28, 29, 30-inch brown trout.
Yeah, you just sit there and you look at them like, and I've caught nice browns in the river fly fishing, and you just sit there and think like, where are they? Like,
Right.
you know.
Yeah. Yeah, you would think you'd be able to go out to the lake,
I don't
troll around.
I don't think they're a fish that will school. I think they're more like loner fish. Like,
Well, and that's the thing, like when you're trolling around in them lakes and you're out in 30 foot of water, and you always get that mark that's like 15 foot down.
yeah.
You know, just a big old arch on your graph, and you're like,
What are you?
please bite. Please bite.
I just need to know.
And I'm sure more chances than not it's either a steelhead or a brown trout. you
Yeah. Yeah, suspended like that probably.
know, you know, maybe a pike or something, but
Yeah. Which is weird, but I have seen pike suspended. Like,
oh, for sure.
Yeah, I've seen him suspend, and I haven't seen it a lot, but I have seen it, and I'm like, you think a pike, they just lurk on the bottom and wait to come up and eat,
Yeah.
but I have seen them. And I know some of these bigger lakes, like, and just
Well, that's the thing. Like, you take these bigger lakes with the smelt,
yeah.
you know, big pike will love big smelt.
Oh, yeah, or even Cisco's.
Or Cisco's, too.
Yeah.
And those most generally are going to be suspended.
Yeah.
You know, so it makes sense to see them pike up and, you know, 20 foot below the surface and 50, 60 foot of water.
Yeah.
Just following around schools of bait fish.
Waiting to pick one off.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that does make sense. And I know, dude, yeah, it's gonna. Now that I'm thinking about it, you got me on the trout topic. It's gonna be hard to keep me off that.
Dude, I love to eat walleye.
Yeah.
And my wife, like, will kill for walleye.
Yeah.
So as much as I can bring home.
So she's okay with it. She's
we're
like, you can go
eating
walleye
walleye.
fishing
Yeah.
as much as you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if anybody's wondering how I can get away with walleye fishing like 4 or 5 nights a week, it's as long as I'm bringing home walleye,
Yeah.
I'm good.
Well, and you usually got one of your daughters with you, so
Yeah.
you know, you kind of help with the responsibilities, the child responsibilities on
Yeah.
that. Like, all right, I'll take this one
Yeah.
today.
That's the tough part is like Brinley's at the age, you know, she wants to fish. Like, she loves to fish.
Yeah.
But good walleye fishing, the conditions suck.
Yeah, they're terrible.
For kids, you know, it's cold, rainy, windy, you
Yeah.
know. So I'd like to get her out more, but
Well, I even heard in the video you had Lexi all bundled up, and it was like, I don't know, maybe an hour in, and she was already ready to go home, and you're like, you just got like 3 fish in like 15 minutes, and you want to go home already?
yeah.
Yeah.
And we stuck it out. She stuck it out.
Yeah, she did good. That was funny though. There's a couple funny moments in that video.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're gonna have fun watching Jameson last night. He's a trip.
I want to get your turkey episode up, and then I want to start continue just focusing on fishing content.
Yeah.
I want to do.
I got my GoPro with me too, so I can give you.
Yep.
That
Are you going fishing tonight?
I don't think so. You fishing tonight?
I'm not fishing tonight. No.
Then I'm not gonna fish tonight.
No, I gotta.
If you were gonna like compete with me or something, I'd
Yeah, I'd say yeah. I'd go, and you're like, yeah, you ain't out fishing me. Well, I got like 5 man limits like to catch up to you. So
Yeah, I think what was it? Since opening day, I think we've boated 61 walleye
yeah,
since opening day.
that's good. That's a lot of fish.
On old brown hornet day.
I'd have to take a look. I don't know. I have to think. I don't think I'm over 20 fish. Yeah, I don't think so.
At walleye camp, you had what, 4?
Me and Jammer were 4.
4 walleyes.
I've gotten 2, so that's 6, and then we got 5 keepers. 9, 10, 11, 12. So, yeah, I'm at like 12 or 13 fish.
Yeah.
Walleyes.
But you're like, what, 2 or 3 trips behind me.
Yeah.
I think 2 trips.
Yeah. Yeah, technically I've only gone out 5 times total.
Yeah.
But I mean,
No, not that many. Oh, you're talking
2
like walleye.
Yeah. 2 days at camp, and then I've gone out twice by myself, and then once last night with Tony.
Yeah. So I've been twice at camp. I've been out 7 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're hitting it pretty hard. Maybe we'll get Charlie in the boat one day.
He was at my house this morning, and he said to text him and let him know when we're fishing. I think he's a little bummed out that I didn't text him last night, but
Yeah.
usually he's got Kevin, and he's not a huge fisherman, you know, so
Yeah.
sometimes I just don't even bother asking him because I don't think he wants to go. But
I'll tell you what, though, like when we did that Sheboygan trout and salmon tournament last year, he had a lot of fun.
yeah,
He had a lot of fun. And I was just happy to have him in the boat. Like, hey, you know, maybe I'll see a spark in his eye and he'll want to. Dude, he had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Reeling in fish, netting fish. He's like, how far does this need to be back? You know, I'm like, oh, yeah, just send it back this. So you kind of start seeing him, like, get the itch for it. And you're like, okay, cool.
Yep.
You know, it's kind of like introducing kids because, like, Charlie doesn't have a lot of experience fishing.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't really have an interest in it, to be honest with you. So, like, when we can get him out there in the boat and kind of, like, start seeing him, you know, big trout or walleye tugging on the line, he's like, oh, okay, you know, it's pretty cool. So
And that's like Scotty, you know, I didn't realize Scotty had any fishing blood in him at all.
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't realize he used to fish quite a bit.
Yeah.
You know, his dad fished quite a bit. You know, him and his dad fished together a lot, and they walleye fish down, you know, around Cadillac quite a bit, and he's been out on Lake Erie and stuff. But we just always talk about hunting.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, it's because
bear hunting, cat hunting, deer hunting. You know,
elk hunting is his number one.
Yeah.
Like, that man takes his elk hunting serious.
Yep. But man, I got him on the boat, and I'm like,
You know, he knows what he's doing.
he knows what he's doing, and
Well, it's like I said,
he was
like,
having fun doing it. You know?
yeah, he's an outdoorsman. He's a woodsman. He knows, and you put anyone like that who understands kind of like, you know, how to do things, they're gonna pick up on it pretty quick.
It's a pattern.
Yeah, that's all it is. But we do have to get in the boat together, you and me.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah.
Whether we take your boat or my boat.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're gonna go out to the big lake, probably take my boat because I got all the stuff set up for it already.
For sure.
You know, I'll have to get in the boat and do that. But dude, yeah, you'd have a riot with them lake trout.
Yeah.
I keep the ones that are about 18 to 20 inches for eating. I'll throw the bigger ones back. Once in a while, if I have someone fishing with me, like, you know, we've kept a couple of the bigger ones, you know, just because they wanted to smoke them up. You know, why take 3 fish when I can have this one big one?
Right.
I get it, whatever. But yeah, that's definitely starting to itch me.
Yeah.
It gets bad.
Yeah.
I got off the walleye wagon pretty quick last year.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I think the first time I went out trout fishing was like May 14th last year.
Really?
Yeah, and I don't think I put another walleye line in all summer. I start hitting them lake trout or the rainbows and it just, and then, you know, by the time you start getting tired of that, the salmon start trickling in and you're like, ooh.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Before you know it, I'm going under back and forth the Mackinac Bridge trying to get a salmon.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, that's always pretty fun, but when does training season start?
July 8th.
All right, yeah, I knew it was like...
But, there's lots of stuff to be done before then, you know.
Yeah.
Start getting stuff ready. Like right now, my Toyota needs to be completely overhauled.
Yeah.
You know, so I got to get going on that pretty soon. And
Yeah, that's
once I start getting stuff prepped for training season, you know, basically after Memorial Weekend, I'm done fishing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gives me about a month. Gives me the month of June to get everything prepped and ready to go for training season.
Yeah. Well, and for I guess people wondering on that, you're gonna be filming a lot of that too, aren't you?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do everything I can. I mean, I guess we're just gonna have to see how it goes, you know, and see what we can do with it. But it's definitely gonna be a new adventure, you know.
Well, you know, one thing I was thinking about too is like, you guys treat almost a bear a day during training season.
Pretty close, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that'd be pretty cool to kind of get some up close footage, like zooming in up on the bear, up in the tree and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I know it's not going to be for everyone. It's not everyone's taste, but it still is pretty cool because I mean, hound hunting is the number one way to manage bears. I mean, hunting in general is them are one way, but then hound hunting is, the most effective.
Yeah, when it comes to killing big mature boars,
Yeah.
You can be so picky when you've got dogs.
Yeah.
You can let that bear, you can let as many bears go as you want. You can get as good a look at them as you want and still let them go,
Yeah. So you're saying I got till Memorial Weekend to get you out on the big water. All right.
Yep.
Well, that's going to be perfect because they're still going to be in the shallow water. I think it's going to warm up quicker than it did last year, though. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got some nice mushroom picking weather coming, too.
Yes, we do. I do have to get out and do a little bit of that. I know.
So Brindley and I did pick about 40 of them.
Did you?
Yesterday, yeah. Yeah, just enough for a snack.
Yeah. Yeah, go good with some scrambled eggs or maybe a venison steak.
Big old fat venison steak. I got a picture. I'll show it to you.
I know everyone's mouth is watering right now.
You're going to be jealous.
Some morel mushrooms laid next to a bunch of frickin'...
Those were our fish from last night.
Oh, hell yeah.
See, that one was 22. And then there was one, this one was fat. Big old
that one is pretty fat. She have eggs in her?
No, spawned out.
Okay, I was going to say.
Where am I at? Oh, right here, dude. Look at this.
Yeah, look at that. That's perfect. I wish everyone could see that right now. There's a pile of mushrooms, and he has the frickin',
You can't get that at a restaurant.
No, it's like backstrap medallions cut and rounded around the edge of the plate, and then there's a bed of frickin' morel mushrooms right in the middle.
I'm going to put that on the Michigan Gone Wild page.
You need to. That is mouth-watering. It's getting my mouth watering. God damn. Yep. Some morel mushrooms, some walleyes. Okay, so the shallow water walleye bite, the evening bite, that video is up right now. I'm going to share that to the Facebook page, so I'll get everyone to that.
That's when me and Lexi went out?
Yep. Yeah, that's you and Lexi's.
So how you going to do...
Well, you have the one night you went out with just Scott.
Just Scott and I.
Yeah, and then I have some footage, so I'll probably throw that in there. And then last night I'll do it a lot like how we did the opening weekend, where we're cutting back and forth to you.
Yep.
And you and Scott and Jameson, then me and Tony.
Yep.
So that's probably what we'll do. But this one was a good little 12, 13-minute video with some good walleye action, so...
Good deal.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah, I waited till this morning to pull those walleye out of live well and clean them. But yeah,
we put ours on ice last night.
Did you?
I don't think I pulled in the house till what time did I call you? It's like 12:30.
Yeah.
I didn't get home till like 1:00.
Yeah.
I bought that. I bought the new Rapala R12.
The electric
lithium
knife. Yeah.
Knife. I like it a lot. It gets a little warm. I don't know if it's supposed to, but
yeah.
The handle, she gets a little warm.
See, I have the Rapala, but it's the corded one.
Okay.
And I like that. I mean, when you have a lot of fish to clean,
does it get
you had
warm?
there. Not that I recall.
Yeah, this in the handle. I mean, it starts to get warm after 15 fish.
Wonder why. I mean, I know there's a motor in there, so but yeah, it doesn't. I mean, it feels like it shouldn't get that warm. But yeah, pretty. I got a couple cool little clips in there to pull out and put as like a little reel, and that was pretty cool. But yeah, I think going into the next video and the next time I go out, I'm gonna kind of break out a lot of the lures that we've been using so I can show them on the video. I know we talked about them here, and hopefully everyone that listens to this podcast is also watching the videos, and hopefully everyone that's watching the videos will listen to the podcast. So we can kind of work back and forth, and keep people informed. Because like you said, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, like, we're both working men, we're both business owners. You're out building, I mean, I'm out cutting, trees. I mean, by the end of the day, the only thing we're thinking is like, all right, let's just get on the water.
Yeah.
So we're not trying to.
Well, that's the cool thing about walleye fishing is you can work a 12-hour day.
Yeah.
And if you got the ambition still,
you can still get out and go fishing.
You can still grab your boat and be on the water and still catch a limit of walleye after work.
It's definitely a working man's sport.
Yeah, for sure.
But you see a lot of like YouTube channels. They'll they have like 2 or 3 days where they'll just go out and fish, and then they'll actually only film like one day. Like, we're going to be filming every time we get out, whether we catch 2 fish or whether we catch 20 fish. I mean, we're going to be filming it.
Yeah.
and probably be showing it, I mean, splice it in some way, shape, or form. But
Yep.
yeah, I'm pretty excited. Still a lot of walleye fishing left to do. I'm going to have to start keeping a tally of the fish. Good thing I haven't caught that many and I haven't lost count yet.
We should do a mushroom picking episode.
Yeah, we could
I
do
did
that.
take the GoPro yesterday.
Yeah.
Got a little bit of footage of Brindley picking some mushrooms. And
Yeah, I saw you went out the one day trout fishing too on the river. You caught a sucker.
yeah, that was bullshit. I was so pissed.
Water level looked really high though.
It was blown right out.
Yeah.
I had such high expectations, and I didn't even think about all the snow that we just got.
Yeah.
And what we have, like 6 inches of snow?
Yeah.
And it all melted.
It was like May 2nd, wasn't it?
It
or
was
something?
beautiful outside. You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, it's going to be great. Get to the river, and it's just
Blown right
ripping.
out.
I'm like, oh, come on.
You didn't get skunked though.
Didn't get skunked, but
Did you end up keeping that sucker?
no, I threw it back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually wanted to do a sucker episode because that's also a really fun fish to catch. I mean, it's not. The only way I'll eat them is if you smoke them.
Yeah.
I know some people will pickle them. I have tried pickling them.
And they're good canned.
Yeah,
too.
canned. Yeah, some people will can them.
Make good tuna fish and sucker patties.
Yep.
Yeah.
I do that with lake trout.
Do you?
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I take those lake trout and I'll can them and then I'll, pull them out and just mix them with some like breadcrumbs and put your favorite seasonings in there, maybe some, red peppers or green peppers,
Couple
whatever.
eggs.
Yeah, whatever you like, you can throw in that patty and make that,
Yep.
squirt some tartar sauce on that,
Yep.
or even just eat it by itself. It's still really good.
Yeah. Yeah, my dad cans a ton of fish.
He does.
And
He likes canning in general.
Yeah, he likes to can everything.
Yeah.
He cans morels, and they're phenomenal.
You just pull them right out of the can.
I've had frozen morels. I've had dried morels. I've had morels preserved every way that they can be preserved.
Yeah.
And his canned morels, you can eat them out of the jar, but they're still almost like eating them raw.
Yeah.
They almost taste fresh. Like
Yeah.
if you were to eat a fresh mushroom out of the woods, that's what it tastes like. So you take them out of the jar, drain the juice out of them, let them dry out a little bit.
Yeah.
Just kind of let them strain themselves,
Yep.
and then toss them in a pan with real butter.
Oh, yeah.
And fry them up, and man, they're good. They're
Little
not
salt and pepper.
fresh, but it's the closest I've ever had to a fresh morel.
Honestly though, I've gotten those morels that are dehydrated and you can buy them online.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a hair up my ass one time and I went on eBay and a bunch of people sell dried morels, so I bought some and I got them and I put them in water for a couple hours to soak them, get them filled back up. It doesn't break my heart either way. They're good.
Yeah.
Morels are just good.
Yeah.
Yes, are they better fresh? Yeah, but yeah, it was good the way that I had those.
Yep.
But yeah, I'll get out, pick some mushrooms.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Nothing better than morels and walleye.
Yeah, maybe venison with morels. God
Venison
damn, dude,
morels.
that's so good. So, when you went and did that sucker video, you already kind of dabbled with river fishing with the GoPro. Like, how would we make that? How could I make it easier for you to film that? Like, would it take 2 GoPros or maybe a chest mount or
Like maybe a chest mount, but I used that same mount that I had in the boat.
just connected it? Hooked
I
it to a
just
tree?
hooked it to trees.
Yeah.
Just lock that onto the tree, turn it the right direction, and then I don't know how it looked. I never went back and watched it.
It looked good.
I don't know
Yeah.
if I was in frame all the time or not, but
Yeah.
that worked pretty dang good.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
of course, it kind of limits you a little bit to moving around. Like you got to know where you're going to go and know what hole you're going to fish.
Right.
And lock it on, and you're stuck there
Yep.
until you pick the camera up and move.
Yeah.
As to where a chest mount, you could bounce around and get in the river and fish a little bit more aggressively.
Yeah. I know I definitely wanted to do it. I wanted to try it. I was really, I was like 3-4 years ago, like I was
Head
literally
over heels into trout fishing.
Yeah, dude. Every freaking night during like middle of June to middle of July, I was on a river almost
Yeah.
every night.
Yeah.
And I caught a lot of fish, but it would be very difficult to film that with a GoPro because of the lighting. And you're not going to see anything until the fish is on because you can't have a light on.
Right.
And so I almost thought about that. I'm like, well, it's not even worth it at that point.
Yeah.
You know, and I know some people do. I've watched a couple of videos like where people are out fishing the hex or even like
What about like the
drakes.
infrared?
The infrared would work. I don't know. Does GoPro have infrared?
I don't know. You see like
Could
TV
definitely do it with an
shows-
infrared camera.
Certain TV shows, they have infrared.
Now I got to look that up. I'm sure I would assume there'd have to be a lens or something that you could do that with the GoPro because they have so many accessories for it now.
Yeah.
Infrared GoPro. I don't know. Someone already probably knows. And it's like, nope, can't do that, bud.
That'd be the way to do it, though.
That's a no-go. Yeah, that would be. You're right.
Go infrared and then turn the lights on once you hook a fish.
Yep. See, there's this one. It's called a Phasm Cam Full Spectrum Night Vision. Wow. It is full-blown night vision, though.
Night vision?
Yeah, it's called a ghost stop.
That's for a GoPro?
No, this is a whole camera in of itself.
Oh.
But it's I don't know, I'd have to watch a video on it. But my biggest thing would be like, is there an attachment for GoPro?
Right.
You know, I don't think there is. But it would be really freaking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, jukebox action camera. No. Oh, here's a night vision. It looks a little. I don't know what that is. I think that's like a security camera. Never mind. Yeah, that would be the way that we'd have to do it, though. I'm pretty sure.
Because like your Ring doorbells and stuff are all infrared.
Yep. Yeah, all you need is a light. I mean.
Yeah, infrared light.
Do you think that maybe the recording light on top of the GoPro would be enough for infrared?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know. I'll have to figure something out. That'd be pretty cool, though. But, yeah, I wanted to just go get, like, some spinners or some MEPs and go get some brook trout and browns. You know, do some river fishing. I mean, because I'm like, that was, like, growing up, before we even had our driver's licenses, that's what I did. Me and Charlie, we'd always be, we'd go down to the small creeks and rivers and fish those because that was what we had accessible to us.
Yep.
And that was always a lot of fun. And it's you can go catch a handful of brookies and take them home and eat them or whatever, but it's more nostalgic for me to go onto a small river and throw a couple spinners and try catching some brook trout.
Yeah.
It's more nostalgic.
See, for me, like that's what I do in the summertime.
Yeah.
Like in between hound hunting and working, like I always carry a little fishing pole in my truck.
Yeah.
And in the middle of the day, if like for some reason I have a couple hours of downtime or something,
Go hit a river.
I just go hit a little trout stream.
Yeah.
And just kind of breaks things up in the middle of the summer when everything's so busy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's what I do with my fly rod. I just go take and I actually like the Drake hatch more than I liked the actual hex hatch.
Yeah.
The rivers were nowhere near as busy, and you could usually get started a little earlier.
Right.
There's still a hair of daylight when the hex when the drakes start getting in the air.
Yep.
It's usually still a little bit light out. The hex, I mean, it'd be 10:30, 11 o'clock at night before that first one comes down.
Right.
It's pitch black out already.
Yep.
Usually, so.
Yeah, I haven't gotten into that a lot. My Uncle Chad, obviously, he's a big trout fisherman, and he knows all about that stuff, and I fly fished with him a couple of times, and just never really got the itch for it,
Yeah.
But same thing, anything like that happens in the summertime, I can't be that serious about it when.
Yeah, because
when
you
I've
already got
bear
something
dogs.
going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like me with like big water fishing now. Like walleye fishing kind of curbs that itch until I can get out on the big water.
Yeah.
Lake Michigan, Lake Huron. I actually want to make a run up to Lake Superior.
Yeah.
Somewhere towards the end of May, even the beginning of June. Go up there and get some of those cohos or even some of those kings that are sticking around on the south side of the lake.
Yep.
That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, the walleye fishing's my number one fishing.
Well, like you said, your wife loves walleye,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Makes an easy
yeah,
excuse.
that's your scapegoat.
Yep.
But honey, you love walleye.
Yeah. We're getting low, don't you know?
We've only got about 15 fish. Yeah.
Yeah, you just give it away to friends and family, you know.
I can't believe how many fish I give away. Because, like, you know, I mean, I eat fish quite a bit. I eat venison quite a bit. But, you know, my dad, dude, he's always got fish and venison or any type of meat in there. Like, I kill a bear, I give him some. I mean, we usually, you know, when we guide for elk hunters, you usually get a little bit of elk meat or something. I always give my dad a pack of steaks or, you know, the liver if it's good, or, you know, half the heart.
Yeah, your dad's the type, he's really appreciative
Yeah.
of, like, wild game, wild fish, you know, anything that's not from the store.
Yep.
He's gonna eat it.
He loves it. I mean, he's a big boy, so I got to keep him fat and happy.
Yeah, yeah, just like me.
Yeah, he'll help me around the yard, sharpen my chainsaws, maybe split some firewood for me, bundle some campfire wood and stuff. So I keep him fed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm hoping to get my brother out here one night. I asked him the last couple of times, but I know. One night he had a dance recital to go to. The other one he had the couple of the kids. You know, his kids were all sick, so he's staying close to the fort.
I'll start having softball games Tuesdays and Thursday nights. So that pretty much leaves me Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Shit, only 3 days a week to fish.
Only 3 days.
What are you gonna do with yourself? You gotta fit in some mushroom picking in there.
Yeah. Get some mushroom picking in there. I'll be burned out in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, it happens.
I'll be done in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, everyone thinks they're gonna hit it hard, you know, all summer long. No.
Yeah.
You can usually go strong for, you know, 3-4 weeks.
Yeah.
And then you got to kind of take a couple week break.
Yeah.
Or switch to something else.
Yeah.
You know, if you look at like what you do throughout the year, I don't look at like months anymore. I look at like what I'm doing that time of year.
Yeah.
Like this time of year, I'm walleye fishing.
Yeah.
And then summer comes in, I slowly start gravitating towards the big water.
Yeah.
And then this year I'll draw my bear tag. You know, you're already bear hunting every year anyways. But this year I'll draw my bear tag. So the middle of August, me and Tony are going to be running up to the UP running bear baits.
Yep.
And then
we're pretty spoiled, dude.
We are. I don't know. You know,
like there's no time of the year that
we can't be doing something.
There's no downtime.
Yeah.
You know,
there's something to be doing every day of the year.
Cat hunting, shed hunting, walleye fishing, mushroom picking, running bear dogs, lake trout fishing, salmon fishing.
Did you already say elk hunting?
Elk hunting, deer hunting.
Yeah. I do some bird hunting in the fall, and you know,
turkey hunting. We didn't even throw turkey hunting in there.
Yeah, turkey hunting. Yeah, I know I stay pretty busy. And I didn't even ice fish this year. You know, I messed up my Achilles, so like I could barely walk the whole winter. I'm just now getting to where I can start moving around.
Yeah, and I still see it's bothering you a little bit.
Yeah, I can't quite push off with it. Yeah. Right? Like it's like
it's one of those things like it doesn't hurt, but it's just not right.
Yes. That's exactly what it is. Like it doesn't hurt me necessarily, you know, like if I stretch it too much, like get in a weird position, it'll feel funny and maybe give me a little irritation, but you know, like straight line walking, like I can walk at a decent pace, but you can definitely see that like my left leg is like a little tight, yeah.
Or loose, one or the other.
Tight.
Tell it's kind of wonky.
Yeah, it's definitely not right, but I don't have any issues climbing a tree, so it definitely didn't hurt me doing any work, so
yeah,
still staying busy.
My knee's pretty messed up.
What'd you do to it?
I don't know. Just my knee and my shoulder both. I think I messed up playing football in high school.
Oh yeah.
And just never got them fixed, you know. And like it's fine. Like right now, it's fine. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, I can just barely tweak it the wrong way, and I'll just go down to my knees.
Yeah. Inside or outside of it?
It's more like in the back.
Oh.
Kind of like in behind my knee.
Yeah, because my left knee on the inside, that can get pretty sore.
Yeah.
Like at the end of a day when I'm, you know, doing a long day of tree work, or, you know, even like putting up tree stands and you got to be in funny positions and kind of using your legs to hold you to the tree while you're doing. Sometimes I'll feel it. Yeah. You know.
Yeah, and like I can work on it for days and not even know anything's wrong with it.
Mm-hmm.
But then I just tweak it.
Yeah.
Like just doing something stupid, you know, just stepping off from something or anything, you know, and it'll be sore for 2 or 3 days, and then it's back to normal. And same my right shoulder. If I try to like reach back and scratch my back, it'll go out of place.
You're like, oh, it's not supposed to go there.
Not supposed to go there. But
Do you have the morning old man shuffle yet, where you're like so tight and you're like God, I can't walk
takes you
anymore.
like halfway across the house and you start to loosen up a little bit.
Yeah. I wake up in the morning. I gotta take a hot shower.
Yeah.
I have to take a hot shower. That gets me all loosened up. Take my 2 leaves and drink my pot of coffee, and then usually within 45 minutes of waking, I can actually get out the door and do something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I'm not quite that bad yet.
Yeah.
I get up and I'm sore when I wake up.
Yeah.
But within about 10, 15 steps out of my bed, I'm loosened up and ready to go.
Yeah. Yeah, it usually takes me a little bit longer. There's probably dudes that are listening that are like, wait till you're like in your 40s and 50s and 60s, and here I am 33 bitching about waking up.
Before you got here, I didn't have this podcast set up because I was over there in that massage chair.
Yeah. That's so funny he's got that. We need to take that to deer camp.
It's not bad. It'll loosen you up.
Yeah.
It hits the right spot.
Does it have a built-in heat too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Dude, we're taking that thing to deer camp.
I'm telling you, hop in that one or done. It'll make you feel like a new man.
Yeah, loosen you up pretty good.
It gets your feet, calves, thighs, like your butt, lower back, all the way up to your neck.
Yeah.
It gets your forearms.
Holy shit.
You stick your forearms right in there, and it massages your forearms.
That's what I need. Sit it there at the end of the day and just. Yeah.
And it's not just vibration. Like, it does vibrate at times, but like it's got some actual like really deep tissue.
Yeah.
Like there's different settings. Like there's pain relief.
Yeah.
Therapy. There's like recovery therapy.
Yeah.
And all of them do different things, but like there's some really good deep tissue.
Jesus, now I'm gonna have to try it.
Oh, it's nice, man.
Yeah, that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
All right. Well, get this.
Yeah, we got them all
up.
worked up for a massage now. And
Yeah.
we're gonna have to cut this podcast short.
I'm ready to hop in the massage chair. Seriously, we might take that thing to deer camp. People will be seeing it like, what the hell? They used to sleep in like army tents and like meth shack campers and wake up in the snow, and now they got massage chairs and television.
Yep.
Just isn't right.
It isn't right.
But we were talking about that yesterday, me, you, and Tony, when you're at my parents'. Like, it's night and day difference. Like, I think once you get to a certain point, you're more worried about comfort than anything.
Right.
And I mean, since I was 15 years old, starting out in an army canvas tent, having to wake up at 2:30 in the morning to refill the stove because you're freezing.
It was just a normal thing.
Yeah,
it
you didn't.
A big deal.
You didn't think of it, but then you start
once
kind
you go
of
stay at Steve and Lynn's in Ohio.
Yeah.
That's what really ruins you right there.
Oh, it's terrible.
You go there and you wake up in the morning, you deer hunt all day.
Yeah.
Get back 9 o'clock at night. Dinner's made.
Dude, they spoil us.
You hop in the shower.
Yeah.
Go up.
Got a hot
feast.
tub.
Hot tub. Go down, you drink a few beers, turn the TV on, watch a football game.
Yep.
And just, I can think of it. It's more relaxing than home.
It is. Because, you don't have to wake up and answer any calls or anything, or, you don't have no responsibilities. You just got to get to your stand.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, it's the very simple life. Well, it's like deer camp, we were talking yesterday. I don't want to be pulling any more shacks or anything like that. Like, literally, I just want to only worry about getting to my deer hunting spots.
Yeah.
And having, being comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And we did that shit. We did the whole army tent or sleeping in a rundown camper and burning propane and burning fire stove, wood stoves.
Yep.
I mean, we did all that. And
it'll be great memories forever, but
yeah,
I'm over it.
I'm over it too.
When you can have a hot shower.
Yeah.
And heat.
Yeah.
That you don't have to.
I tell you what, I wouldn't mind doing it for 3 days and doing like a bow camp or something. That's cool.
And when the weather's right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But when you're talking 5 degrees,
Mm-hmm.
you get down below 0.
Yeah.
No, that's not okay.
I don't want to do that anymore.
Oh.
No, I'll just rent a cabin or stay in a cabin or, even having like a really nice camper or trailer. But I tell you what, the cabin setup we got now is just out of this world.
Yeah.
It's night and day difference. So.
And it just keeps you in the game that much longer.
Yeah.
If you can be comfortable and not going, man, I want to be at home in my own bed.
Yeah.
Then you're that
good.
much more ready.
And just focus on killing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't mind it, like you said, in like September we do it for bear camp.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind doing it for, a bow camp or something for the weekend, but
We always talk about bow camp, but man, it's just it's such a busy, like, you and I both, we're just trying to hammer everything we can out so we can get to, get the time off for Ohio and rifle season here.
yeah. Feels like that time of year I'm trying to jam pack 2 months of work into 1 month.
Yeah.
Just because
2 weeks.
Yeah. So I have enough, so I have enough money and time to get through, November.
Yep.
And then maybe pick back up a little bit in December. But yeah,
Yep.
I don't know. But then again, it comes down to preparation too. It's like last year we did a bow camp. I didn't even do a video on it because it was like I didn't see that many deer, and like my truck had just broke down. The transfer case went out of it. So like 2 days before that, so I had to go out and buy it. I went out and bought another truck, and I'm like, all right, gotta do this. Then you gotta, I don't know. I want to do one. I definitely do, but like the bow hunting down here isn't. It's not great. It's not great. You're going out to basically look for does, and once in a while you'll run into a nice buck. But I personally like having 2 of my tags for rifle season.
Yeah.
I don't know what it like. It doesn't break my heart when I don't kill a buck in bow season here in Michigan. I mean, I go to Ohio. Yeah, I want to kill a buck. That's my focus. But like, I go out bow hunting here. It's just like hope to maybe get a doe or 2 before the rifle opener.
I bow hunt here for a buck bigger than what I've killed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not looking to go out here and kill a 2.5-year-old 8-point with my bow.
Right.
Like, that's not what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
The time that I spend in a tree towards the end of October in Michigan is, and up until last year I used to do, bow hunted here in the first week of November too.
Yeah.
I'm always looking for a good 115, 120 inch deer.
Mm-hmm.
And I've killed lots of 8-points with my bow, 2.5, 3.5-year-old 8-points. But my biggest buck with a bow still is, I think it's 115 inch 9-point.
Yeah.
115, 116.
Which is
like
a really good buck up here in northern Michigan, especially with a bow. Yeah, I'm pretty much in the same boat. Like, if I don't get a buck in bow season here in Michigan, it doesn't break my heart.
Right.
Just because I know, like last year I went to Wisconsin for a few days. It was, and then, like, we go down to Ohio the first week in November every year, and it's just like, that in the back of your head, you're like, well, if I don't get it done here in bow season, you feel a little bit more comfortable getting your work done, so that way you can enjoy November.
Right.
That's the way that I look at it.
Yeah.
But what do you think, man?
Yeah, let's wrap it up, eh?
Yeah.
Hour and a half in.
Yeah, not bad one.
Covered some good topics.
Yeah, got everyone excited for picking morels and eating them with fish and venison.
Yeah, that's on the page now.
Yeah.
Check it out.
For everyone out there, take a look at the Facebook page and also the Instagram. I mean, we usually got plenty of content up there to kind of fill you in on basically what we're talking about here or what we're doing on the YouTube channel. And if you're listening in but you're not going to the YouTube channel, or you're going to the YouTube channel and not coming in to listen, try to do both, because like I said, we're not professional producers by any means. So a lot of the stuff that we talk about will overlap from the videos and the podcasts we do, and also with the content that we post on social media. So, follow along on all 3. And then, if anyone has any questions, you can message me or Jake personally, or hit us up on the Facebook page. I mean, we all have access to it, and we can all respond to all the questions and everything. And we try to get to everyone. We're not, when it comes to lake specific stuff, we're not going out and telling people what lakes we're fishing. If they see what lakes we're fishing and they say, hey, we saw you on this lake the other night, we were there too, what was working best, I don't mind I don't mind telling people, or sharing info with people.
No, that's like you said, we don't mind sharing, but we've got a lot of friends, and family that fish the same lakes that we fish, and out of respect for them.
Yeah.
You know, everyone knows how tight-lipped people like to be about local fishing holes, and and at the end, you know, we want to protect and respect their wishes too. So
yeah, I mean, we try to bring good content to people. You know, both the people that follow, maybe that don't live around us, but also people that live in the area or visit the area frequently.
Mm-hmm.
But we also, you know, like you said, we want to be respectful to the people that do live here and fish these lakes, you know, and then also share some information, you know, or techniques to people that may be fishing another body of water.
yeah.
So, yeah, I think that pretty much covers it. So, appreciate everyone tuning in and listening. Sorry we skipped 1 week. We were really busy with turkey hunting and obviously walleye camp and stuff. So, you know, we'll be back onto our regular weekly program.
What episode is this? Is this like 13?
This is, I think 13.
13.
Yeah, 13. So, big one. So, all right, everyone, stay wild.
Michigan, it's Michigan gone wild here in Michigan, where the back roads run for miles and miles with the will of a man and the heart of a child on Michigan gone wild.